All right, welcome back for week 3. You're with the Bums here, Bets for Bums video podcast. Not our best week, gentlemen. Last week, not the best week we had.
I
But
swept college, but I had the reverse sweep going in NFL.
and it's kind of been like that for it. It seems like everyone that I watch as far as betting goes, it's just great. First 2 weeks. We had reaction Monday following week 1. Thought we got back on week 2. And here we are, week 3, and I don't think anyone knows what the fuck's going on right now, NFL at least. But we are Bums. I'm Joe alongside Mike and Presidente Tyler Melby of Love the Action Facebook group. Make sure to check that out if you guys aren't already. Love the Action again. It's a great gambling group on there. A lot of bets going on all the time. A lot of things you can participate in and give your bets. So make sure to check that out. If you have a chance, we're also there. We're active. But today we're going to get back into our NCAA or NFL picks. Some crazy stuff happening in the NFL again. Week 2, Colts get shut out. Trey Lance out for the year. It just a lot happened, a lot going on. And then touching on that Trey Lance, it puts Jimmy G in probably the best position possible with how his contract is playing out. He's got to be the happiest he's ever been because not only is he getting bonuses for starting these games, but I think for also every win he gets a bonus, if I'm not mistaken. So he's banking money just by playing in these. And if he wins, he gets a little bit extra on top of his already contract that he has with the Niners. So really, really probably the best thing possible for him there. I bet on the Colts last week. They didn't score a goddamn point on the Jaguars. Who knows? Like what's happening in that division right now? Are the Colts just ass? Are the Titans just ass? Like are the Jags the best team in that division?
They've gone back to just being the worst division in football. It was that way for a long time. It was just top heavy with the Colts. But now that the Colts aren't that good and the Titans aren't that good, the NFC East took over. The NFC East took over for a while, being the worst. I think it is definitely the Colts division now.
Yeah, that division is fucking crazy. Mike Evans getting suspended for a week for defending Tom Brady, who got a shouting match with Lattimore. That's crazy. Mike Evans has had a history of going after guys. Thoughts on that? You risk a week suspension just to stick up for your quarterback who's really not in a physical altercation, but more of just a vocal one. Is it worth going the extra mile of straight shoving a guy to a ground, getting suspended for a week, hurting your team next week, even though that wide receiver core is stacked? He's still
not next week. I think they've got Julio's the star, and then it's like Scotty Miller, someone they just signed. I can't remember who it was. Beasley,
Perriman,
and then Perriman. Those are the 4 actives.
Russell Gage.
Yeah. Those will be the 4 or 5 active next week. Not looking
good. Not too strong.
But I don't know. It helps. Brady's sure going to feed him the rest of the season. He's definitely going to get that incentive money at the end of the year. He's going to make sure of it, and he'll probably pay the fine for him, if I had to guess. So,
yeah.
All in all, stupid move hurts your team, but at the same time, they've had a history back to quarterback. Yeah. Like what he said. It was Tom Brady. What am I supposed to do?
That is literally hilarious. That's his excuse. Well, Brady, what do you expect to do? Hey, Tom's got to love that. Anytime someone sticks up and that's the reason it's suspended is because it's fucking Brady, which is awesome. Awesome team right there. You guys also saw this, not really throw, but was on the field today, running through some drills. I know that they're going to be out for an extended period of time. Could it be that we see him come back sooner? After that Cowboys win last week with their backup, which I don't know how the Bengals lost that. Does that give the Cowboys more life? Does that give you more of an incentive to get Dak back sooner? Because now, instead of being 0-2, we thought, hey, we're for sure losing this game to the Bengals. We have no Dak, no starting quarterback playing our backup. We win this one. Does that give you more of an incentive to maybe rush him to get back? Or maybe is it less of an incentive that you can win with your backup quarterback to say, hey, take your time and get fully healed? But I think that can, even though it's only week 2, 1-1 is way better than being 0-2, and it keeps you in the race. So what are your guys' thoughts on, should they rush him back or should they let him maybe heal? Should they wait this next week, see how the backup really does? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I would say they're probably going to take it week by week. I mean, if Cooper's looking good, they're definitely not going to rush him, I wouldn't say. If he starts to look like trash, they're like, all right, let's rush Dak back. That's how I think they'd approach it.
Yeah, I think something similar too. I think he won with you last week. I mean, you're playing a Giants team who I think is probably overall worse than the Bengals, so I wouldn't necessarily try and rush him back. I mean, if you could win this next game, realistically, you're still within striking distance of a playoff spot long term. I mean, I wouldn't rush him back just because the thumb's probably the most critical point with QB, especially on his throwing hand. I mean, that's what grips the football. So, I mean, I'm going to try as long as I. Go ahead.
It's Jerry's world. You know what I mean? I think especially, and people have been saying this for years, with Jerry's age, the guy wants to win now because
he doesn't have a win now roster though. I mean, if you're a smart owner, you're like, hey, this roster's not going the distance. Why are we going to risk Dak's long-term health? Rush him back. So I don't think they rush him back. They'll be smart. They realistically know this is probably the Eagles' division to win at this point.
Eagles are solid. Look solid. Team's nasty. Jalen Hurts is an absolute beast. Wide receiver course beast. They tore the Vikings up the other night. I thought the Vikings were gonna make it close. They beat the crap out of the Packers and they just go play the Eagles. So who knows now? That the NFC is wild, the AFC is wild, and we had to come back from the Cardinals against the Raiders. I mean, talk about bad beats. Talk about bad.
Just
I know on that one. Any thoughts on that you're thinking that game?
Unbelievable.
I don't even know how to explain it. Like up 20-0 and at home, like I have no answer.
17-point lead in the fourth quarter, and Kyler's just running circles around you. I mean,
what about Browns and Jets? Joe Flacco. What game was crazier? Do you think?
I think Oakland, because they look like they were about to win the game. I mean, recovering an onside one thing that's rare to happen, but to stop them on fourth down with a giant hit that jars the ball loose, and then Hunter Renfrow fumbles, you get it back. So you're like, all right, cool. And then fumbles the next play, return to the house. I mean, longest fumble return in overtime history. So, I mean, it's wild.
Up 14 with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I mean, I've had so many bad beats this year.
It's almost like it's predetermined, man. I swear. It's like
you have a bet and you're at my house. You go up in the loft. It's guaranteed L.
I've seen Shape go through some bad beats this week.
You know what it is? It's the betting gods call you at week 1. You screwed it for us, Shape.
I don't know what it was, man. I went over there for Bears Packers. Was watching it next to Shafe. He had, I think, Bears over 16.5, along with what was it?
Cairo Santos over 1.5 extra points. I had a ton on that. I was like, oh, they scored 2 touchdowns. He gets 2 extra points.
He dives, hits the pylon, initially called touchdown, goes back, knees down. They're down at the 1. What the fuck is up with teams going into shotgun on the 1-yard line and running the ball? I don't get it.
It's what college coaches and teams do. It drives me absolutely nuts.
Read and audible out and maybe. Yeah, I mean, I don't get what the point.
Justin Fields is like 6'4", like 240. He can get you 2 inches. Like he could do the Tom Brady. I'm just gonna reach over real quick.
Quick reach over. So not only they get stopped at the 1, they don't score again. And at this point in time, the Bears had 10 points. So a touchdown puts them at 16. The extra point would have covered both the 2.5, the 1.5 extra points and 16.5. Never had a chance. It was called back. Horrible beat for Shafe. He literally pylon hits. They call it. He goes, "We're alive." Reviewed, not alive. QB sneak blocked, dead in the water.
Come back from commercial in the challenge. I'm like, they're going to overturn this. Didn't overturn.
And then the next day, we got Vikings Eagles. He has
Jake Elliott over 1.5 field goals.
1.5 field goals. He hit 1. He's lined up for 2. Blocked. blocked by the Vikings. Never gets another field goal opportunity. The second bad beat, I was speechless for this man. Like I just didn't know what to say. I watched this guy literally go through the ringer back-to-back nights. Almost gave him a couple bucks out of my wallet just to make him feel
I
bad.
need it. Not even.
Hey, but he's still back, man. He's coming back for more.
We're at week 3 now. And it just seems like anytime we get an NFL season, it just cruises by. Like the next thing you know, we're going to be literally at Christmas, and this is all going to be over with. And we're on to maybe another sport, maybe basketball, maybe the Boston Celtics, maybe a little something going on over there. If you guys heard about that,
Get a little frisky with NBA here soon.
Ime Udoka, the coach for Boston Celtics. Not only have I heard he was slamming one of the, I think it was coaches on the team, one of the female coaches, but I've heard there's going to be multiple other women involved.
What they're saying, rumors.
Yeah.
Who knows if
There's multiple others coming out. It's not really a fireable offense. It looks really bad as a person. It kind of makes the organization look bad, even though they can't really stop what that guy's going to do.
It could be. It is a fireable offense because she's like the head of player personnel or something.
Yeah,
that's definitely a conflict of interest. I mean,
and he's also married to like a famous actress. I mean,
not a good look.
I mean, how do you that coach after?
I mean, I'd honestly be happy with a year suspension if I'm him. I at least keep my job. I mean,
if he were to get fired for it, though, he'd get picked up somewhere else. I feel like it's not the
probably
as
an assistant. I mean,
maybe, but he get picked up. Maybe he has to go back as assistant. Maybe he gets another opportunity, head coach, a couple of years down the road. Wouldn't end his career. Wouldn't end what Nick's son's owner is done for. He's starting to list off both the Mercury and the Suns for what he said. So that we could see a change in some ownership going on in Phoenix, both with the WNBA and the NBA. Yeah, sports news right now is absolutely crazy. I didn't think we could get any crazier than the vibration chess allegations, but here we are on week 3. So we can only have to look forward for these next couple weeks after this. But what we're going to do today is try and make up for our bum asses last week. We had a tough last week. It happens. It's been getting everybody. I think Big Cat over at Barstool, he had a horrible week. He was like 0-7, 0-8. He picked it up, though, week 2.
There were so many comebacks that were just like the Dolphins.
Sure. McAfee crew, they're having a little bit of a rougher year right now. So we're still in the early waters.
It's a sprint, it's a marathon, not a sprint. I mean, we got plenty of time. Yeah. We got 15 weeks left.
We're gonna be all right. We're growing pains right now. We're in the growing pains era. We're in week 3.
But we're learning. We learn each week.
We're learning. I learned last week from the Colts. Jesus. But before we get into our NFL, we're going to touch back on the NCAA. We got a game tonight, West Virginia, Virginia Tech. I know Mike was liking West Virginia. We're going to find out from him literally in 1 second of what he's liking. Should be a good game. Also tonight, Steelers, Browns. Browns did have that players meeting. I heard it was defensive players only. And after what happened against the Jets, kind of makes sense. McAfee was talking about it today on their show. It's like if you're a D lineman and you're just coming at the Jets and they're just literally no coverage, just letting them throw down the field, eventually you turn behind you and say, what the hell is going on back there? We're here trying to get to Flacco, and you guys are literally just come down the field 2 times in a row and score. So Steelers Browns tonight should be a good game. Not going to be a high scoring. Over-unders 38, super low for an NFL game. Spreads 4 right now, but let's, like I said, get back into those college picks. You guys have been pretty hot with college. And I've heard that with other people that have been talking about bets, is that they're like, yo, we're not betting NFL this year. We're sticking more to NCAA because NFL is too tough. Maybe because of how competitive the league overall is coming right now. I mean, the Bills, I don't know if anyone's going to stop the fucking Bills, but every other team, maybe besides a couple at the bottom, it feels like could honestly beat any other. Like it's anybody's game every single weekend. And I feel like 10 years So it wasn't that. You knew almost, juggernauts, not juggernauts, who was going to win, who wasn't. This week going in and this season going in, there's just so much talent in the NFL right now that anybody can win. So I heard a lot of people were back to, I'm just fuck NFL this year. So let's get into our NCAA picks.
I would quickly too, Joe. One thing Shafe always talks about is Vegas spends the most time on NFL too. So that's why it's just so hard to bet.
They have the most money bet on NFL, so I mean they're going to dictate most of their resources to making sure they cover that. I mean,
just wanted to add that in. There's that's why college the spreads are a little easier to gauge because they're not spending all that time on all these games.
There's so many games too. I mean, whereas you have minimal amount of games and
that's where you can find the value.
Yeah. Especially some of these small school games, you can find a lot of value in, or mediocre teams playing each other. You can find a lot of value because the lines will be small, similar to tonight on why I like West Virginia.
And we're gonna get into that. And let's start with you right there, Shafe. Is that one of your picks this week, or do you have another one for us to start off out of the three you're gonna give us?
Yeah, I had a lot of honorable mentions this week. I couldn't pull the trigger on, so I'm gonna go a little ballsy here and take West Virginia. I took them last week. They let me down with that Kansas loss, but Kansas was a lot better team. That was probably the one I was most scared about. I'm just going to take the better QB here. Virginia Tech's quarterback against Old Dominion threw 4 interceptions. They ended up losing to Old Dominion. That's a pretty bad loss. They did bounce back. They've won a couple since then, but not like they were playing top talent. They played Boston College, eked one out over them. Boston College is not that good.
They were awful.
I'm just going to take JT Daniels. I know they can put up points. West Virginia's big problem is their defense. And if we're doing a shootout here, I'm going to take West Virginia over Virginia Tech all day. West Virginia's been able to put up almost 40 points each game. So Virginia Tech has struggled to score. So I'm going to take West Virginia minus 2.5, which is the current line. Take a money line if you want to be extra safe. But I think they're going to get the W here. The only thing that scares me is it's on the road at Blacksburg, which is a real tough place to play typically.
I like that. West Virginia, real tough team this year. Anything to touch on that, Melby?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely lean West Virginia. I watched a lot of Virginia Tech the last 3 weeks. I was on Boston College against them. That was awful. Their O-line, it was the worst O-line I've ever seen in college. The worst. I mean, they couldn't move the ball. They had no yard. They had negative yards the first 3 quarters. That doesn't reflect on Virginia Tech's defense, though. They weren't overly impressive to me. So I feel strong with 2.5 West Virginia.
Okay. Yeah, I think it'll be a shootout. I mean, West Virginia's going to give up points, but I also think they can actually score points.
I don't even know
to do so.
I don't think Virginia Tech can score like that, though.
That's why I'm leaning with JT Daniels, the better quarterback over the 2. I think they're going to put up points.
All right. Over and unders 50. It's at 2.5 right now. The line, money line. You're going to get some good value, honestly, either way on one of those. So games tonight. You guys probably want to see that. We were done, but maybe we'll tweet for everybody. But game, Melby, what do you got for us for number 1?
Yeah, a little Friday action. Syracuse has just been a hell of a team. I love them against Virginia. I'm taking the 9.5. Virginia's been awful, and actually, the offensive coordinator from Syracuse is from Virginia. And I think I love his system. They run it fast. They got a beast running back. They got a solid quarterback. That defense is solid. I think they're going to hammer. I love the 9.5. That's probably my bet of the week.
That was one of my honorable mentions. I just could not pull the trigger on them, but I got them written down here at the bottom.
Pull the trigger.
9.5. There's a lot of juice. Very minimal juice on that. So buy the hook. Line's at 10. I think I don't know if you had it. It bumped it up.
It was at 9.5 earlier today when I looked, but it bounced to 10.
Yeah, Syracuse. You're gonna get 125 if you do buy that juice or lose a little bit of juice. Buy that hook on that. So nice. I like both those picks. Possible parlay right there. West Virginia, Syracuse. If you like that, I don't think that's a bad look at all
for Saturday.
I'm getting ready for
build that bankroll up.
Yeah.
What do you got for number 2, Shafe?
I'm just going to keep riding this wagon. USC minus 5.5 is minus 110 currently. So I'm just going to ride that wagon. And Oregon State's by far their toughest matchup of the year. But, I mean, Caleb Williams and that offense has looked electric under Lincoln Riley, and I think it continues to just put up points. I don't see Oregon State's keeping up with them. They're 3-0 against the spread, I believe, USC, or 2-0. They're undefeated against the spread, so I'm just going to keep riding with it. They've been good to me, so why stop now? Especially at this number under a touchdown. I love it. It's been bet down. I think it opened at 6.5. It's now down to 5.5, which I love even more. But obviously that shows a lot of money's on Oregon State, but I'll take my chances.
Yes, right now it's at 5.5. It's at Oregon State, I believe. Not a bad pick there as well. Don't know if I'd throw that in with the 3 team, but he's been riding that horse all year. So, Melby, what do you got for us for number 2 over there?
You guys know I love Bo Nix, man. And Oregon, holy crap, did they beat the crap out of BYU. I mean, I love BYU. Oregon looked good. Throw out week 1 against Georgia. They are a legit team. Washington State's a solid team, and they're at home, but 6.5, I think they're easily going to beat my touchdown. That Oregon team is solid. And BYU is very solid. I don't know how they hammer them like they did.
Washington State did just beat Wisconsin at Wisconsin, though. That's the only thing.
How good's Wisconsin, though?
Not very good. Not very good. I mean,
hey, and they beat Idaho by a touchdown. How good's Idaho? You know?
So they did battle with IU, I think, if I remember correct. But
and then they
IU kind of pulled away in the second half. Yeah.
It don't matter. Oregon's legit. I feel strong backing these strong teams this week, man, to come back. Oregon is looking good.
I like that.
On the road, 6.5 favorites right now, 4:00 game. 57.5 over under on that. If anyone's interested. Money line, you're not going to get a lot of juice for Oregon. Washington State, obviously, if you want to go the other way, going to get lots of juice for that money line. So one to look out. Should be a good game on Saturday. Let's go third and final, both you gentlemen. Shafe, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna pay the juice here. Meaning I'm gonna buy this line down. I'm gonna take Utah -14. It's at -135 on DraftKings currently. I just checked it. I don't know. I just think that Utah's a much better team. Arizona State just fired Herm on the field. That's a tough interim spot to come in and try and play against a top-ranked team that's been, besides losing in the swamp, which is tough, easy to do. I mean, those teams lose in the swamp. I just think Utah kills them here. So I'm just going to be safe and take the 2 touchdown just in case we have a push here. Kind of gives me a little extra safety. I'll pay a little bit more at the 135, but I just didn't like it at 15.5. I think worst case they win by 2 touchdowns here.
Are we going triple hooks?
Oh yeah.
I ain't never seen it.
Oh yeah. I mean at 130. I mean if you're getting a 1.5 and only giving up point and a half to only pay a little more juice, I'm taking it all day, especially in college.
The first triple hooks of the year. It's unreal.
Still only -135. That's not a bad bet.
Yeah, if we had a statistic for every time Shafe went double hooks, it's probably a good payout, honestly. So I might follow just because of the triple hooks. I couldn't even care less about the teams, but just because the percentage of any time.
Audacity.
I always get made fun of for these double hooks and stuff, and typically they either push or pull off for me. I mean, yeah, the Eagles one was a push, so I'm glad I double hooked it, but typically it's a win or a push. I mean, as a little safety.
Triple hooks, you gotta love that. First of the year.
Maybe did have some honorable mentions. So Syracuse was one. Oklahoma -12.5. I do not think Kansas State is that good.
Could we see a hook this year? Could we see a quad?
There's a high probability. Yeah. Each week I might try and step it up.
Hooks for fingers is what we got going on there.
Another one I liked was UNC over Notre Dame, and then Arkansas, maybe if you're feeling risky. Those were just some honorable mentions. So my 3 were USC -5.5, West Virginia -2.5, and Utah -14. Triple hooks.
Melby, what are you going to finish off with on this NCAA part?
I'll keep it short. Utah is my next pick, and I don't even need to give the extra points, or I don't even need to take back the extra points. I'm going to save y'all some money. Let's go 15.5 and feel strong about it. Arizona State, like you said, fired their coach. That team is awful. They lost to Eastern Michigan. Utah is a top 10 team. This is my second best play of the week, 15.5, Utah.
What is your first pick then? Syracuse?
First pick Syracuse 9.5. Then I came with Oregon minus 6.5.
But you feel
Don't
more
go-
confident in the Utah pick than the Oregon.
Yeah, I would go Syracuse, Utah, Oregon. And I'll throw an honorable mention because Shades up my pick. We're gonna go with Baylor with the plus the field goal. That's a
I
very
do like
solid.
that. I like that one.
So Mel be going with the 15.5, which is the original line. So if you don't want to have 3 hooks, hands
Could win by
Save the money.
15. Could
Save the
win by
money.
15.
cleaner third hook. Then you have both your hands on that. So 15.5, gonna get a bit more juice there. If you want to throw that on there. So I like those picks. Should be a weekend once again for college football. Anything you guys want to touch on? Any game this week? What do you think this week's gonna be?
You said
Cut
what's
out
the
that
best game
whistle.
of the week? You keep cutting in and
Yeah.
out.
Okay. What do you guys think game of the week's gonna be?
Probably Arkansas, Texas A&M.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's gonna be a good game. I don't even know where I'd go at this point.
I'd probably lean Arkansas money line just because Texas A&M can't put up points, but they got the better team. I mean,
What about Notre Dame, North Carolina?
honorable mention, I'd take UNC, lean that way. They,
Yeah.
Like, once again, they can put up points, whereas Notre Dame, I worry about them putting up points. I mean,
They
Good
gotta
point.
get.
I'm probably staying away from both games, but
yeah, I'm going to stay away, but if I had to lean, those are the 2 leans.
What about Ohio State this week, Shay? If you like 19 over Wisconsin,
Too many points, but they'll get the W. But, I mean, if
sure.
you want to throw it in a parlay, maybe get 10 hooks.
Get that to 6.5, you'll be all right.
just take immediately 10 hooks on that. Called. Cool. Let's get
Single
to the
game teaser. Go ahead.
Not a bad play with them in a teaser, though. Seriously.
teaser. Yeah. For those who don't know what teasers are, if you guys are, it basically throw in a parlay with a couple spreads. Usually DraftKings will have an option below that parlay for teasers. They usually do 6.5, 7, 7.5. I don't know if they do anything more like 10 or 14.
Starts with 6, 6.5, 7. Then you can get to like 10 and 13. Depending, I think it goes up the more you add.
Yeah, and obviously you're gonna lose juice on that. But if you have 3 or 4 games that you want to make sure it's secure, I mean, usually you can still walk out going plus 100, plus 200 on most of those because of how many games you have in there. So teasers are never a bad option to look at. They're always kind of like safer plays, and they really make you rethink of how to bet as well if you want to be a little bit safer instead of just going with those straight spreads. So, but we're gonna cook it into the NFL. Like I said, crazy shit going on for the first 2 weeks. We did not have the best week last week, gentlemen, and it's okay. It's okay. We're in the group. Yeah. Stage. I did see a few games that I did like this week that I thought, you know what, this is going to be a good game. Let's get
Overall,
after
I thought this was a pretty tough slate given the spreads this week. Looking at this, I had trouble picking a third one that I really liked.
Well, I'm going to go with my first one, so it doesn't seem like I get to go first. And I'm going Chiefs 5.5 against the Colts. I think the Chiefs blow them out by maybe 14, even though it's on the road. Colts looking horrible. They scored a damn point against Jacksonville. I bet the live spread on the Colts last week. There was at 12.5. I was like, these guys got to score. Horrible. They let Jackson put up 3 touchdowns on them, made them look ridiculous. Frank Wright, I don't know if he's the right coach right now. Matt Ryan is looking like he needs to retire.
Certainly makes those Carson Wentz doubters look a little bit wrong. I'm just saying.
It does, but also Carson Wentz didn't win for me either last week. So I had him. He didn't pull it off, but
he was one of the top performers last week in the NFL QB wise.
Doesn't matter. He missed the win. He walks in the locker room and says that, "Hey guys, tough loss, but I'm one of the best QBs this week. So y'all can suck."
That's probably what he's thinking though.
I would.
How would he say?
I'm putting up numbers.
When do they play the Colts? That's the game I would have circled on my calendar. If they win that game, I'm walking right up to Irsay after the game and just laying into that man because he tried to blame the whole season on Carson Wentz to the media.
Halloween is when they play at the Colts.
I might even go. I might wear my Eagles Carson Wentz jersey and just say I'm here for Carson Wentz. I hope he gets a dub because y'all are idiots.
I might even, you should dress up as Carson Wentz as a Halloween thing.
Might dye everything like red.
Yeah. Hey, dude.
You got to like bandage up your knees and stuff, though.
You pull it off, I think.
Coming in crutches.
Yeah, it would be sick.
Double boots.
Yeah, make some during the game. It'll happen.
Yeah, I'll just make quick. I'm following Joe on that -5.5, which is way too small of a number against the Colts and haven't shown me anything. I will say it started out at 6.5, and all the sharp money from Vegas is on the Colts. Everyone is on the Colts that I've seen. I don't know why. They just think that this is a perfect bounce back spot for the Colts against a team that can't really stop the run. That's the one thing that does scare me is Jonathan Taylor should be able to get 125 yards easy on this team. But can they put up the points in the end to keep up? I just don't know. Pat Mahomes is playing pretty good. That's my point. I mean, I'm following you right along with that. I'm going to take the 5.5 all day. It might be a trap, but we'll see.
Let's go.
Hey.
Strong.
Dude, shots around. How do you bet it? How do you bet the Colts? How can you bet the Colts? Give me the 5.5 too. It's almost too obvious, but you know,
team ride.
If we
I
had
think the line should be at 10. Personally,
when Chiefs, this would be when you.
This is when you would switch to the Colts. If I was listening to this, I'd be like, "Oh, time to hammer the Colts."
Yeah.
Hey, remember this take right here, the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, we'll just cut that out.
All right, let's go into Melby then. Since you guys took mine, let's rotate. Let's get you guys in a new one. Maybe I'm copying yours. Chiefs, obviously, everyone's on it. I had a few people who preseason start said Colts Super Bowl bound. You watch. Said that their best team in the AFC. I said, do you know who's in the AFC, bud? A lot of good teams, a lot of good quarterbacks in the AFC. Text me today. He said. Chiefs by 20. He has completely fallen off the ship. He doesn't Colts anymore. Chiefs by 20. So that's how I know that the Colts fans are down. They lose this game. It could be, I mean, if Colts go 0-3 after getting Matt Ryan, what then? What do you do then? Do you tank?
And they already are tanking, so they're set up perfectly right now. I think personally, this is not a surprising start for me. All offseason, I was banging the drum that the Colts got worse at almost every position. Didn't address any of their needs. Got a slower, less athletic quarterback that's going to struggle behind an O-line that kind of fell apart in the offseason. So, I mean,
side as an organization, I mean, I guess you're always win, but maybe we tank a little bit.
I mean, they're already set up they already have the worst record. I mean, you don't really have to purposely tank.
Back and win the next 6 or 6-2, and you're
happening. I got them losing this week, 0-3. I mean, realistically, there's not a ton of teams that have quarterback needs. This is probably the most stacked quarterback draft in a while, by far. I mean, you get Caleb Williams late in the first round potentially.
He probably is one. The
Florida quarterback could be a project if you don't have a need right away. Stroud and Young will go to teams that need a quarterback right away, I think.
I mean, the Lions probably need a QB. Texans need a QB.
Even late, like people like NC State's quarterback, you could get him in like the 3rd round, and he put up like 35 touchdowns, 3 interceptions last year.
Leary, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the depth in this draft is unbelievable at quarterbacks. I mean, you don't necessarily have to purposely tank. You could, like I said, Colts could finish 5-11 and probably get Caleb Williams with their first round pick if they wanted.
We'll see. We'll see what happens this week. And 0-3 wouldn't look good on the sheet. But what do you got?
At some point, you put Ellinger in then.
I'm being a Bears fan, and I've been against the Bears all year. And it's crazy how a couple weeks can change. Going against the Texans, you're going against your old coach, a few years ago, but the Bears have looked solid. Their defense has looked solid. I love the young guys that got on the defense. Brisker. Roquan's a beast. Jalen Johnson, corner. Like, they got some young, Eddie Jackson's a beast. They got a lot of good defenders. I'm taking the Bears -2.5 under field goal at home. They always play a lot tougher at home. And coming off that Packers loss, like they could have easily won that game. It's crazy to think, I mean, hey, they could have. It wasn't out of the realm of possibility, and they look solid. I'm taking 2.5 in the Bears. Finally back in my team,
Yeah, that's also another one of mine. I mean, the Texans on the road, Bears. I mean, I don't know what the weather's going to be like in Chicago. I feel like bad weather will favor Bears if it is like that. I mean, we saw against the Niner game they won that game. I don't know if they could have won last week against the Packers. I know they had a lot of like we talked about earlier, a couple bad beats happening. I mean, maybe I guess they score that touchdown and flip some momentum. We see what happens. So yeah, I do like that pick as well. I'm on the Bears 2.5. I think at home, easy game. Over under 40 on that, so they're not expecting a lot of points in a low scoring game. I expect the Bears to win. Like you said, they got some dogs on that team that are really flying around on defense. So I like that as well. Bears 2.5. That's my second. Mike, did you follow that as well, or you got something different for us?
I was, and then I just decided to change because I'm not doing that.
We can't do all three, too.
Yeah. And that's gonna.
What if we go three though?
That's gonna lose. Well, that would have been my third. This is only my second pick, anyways. But I'm gonna take Baltimore -2.5, -115 against the Patriots. I just don't believe in that Patriots offense. Mac Jones and that offense just been a little stagnant. I have questions about Baltimore's defense, especially how they gave up that late lead. But I mean, they've been putting up 30-some points a game. Granted, it was Miami and the Jets, but I want this to turn into a track meet, and if it does, I give the edge to Baltimore. I think they can get this done at least by a field goal. So -2.5, -115, I'll take that all day.
He's going. And did you have a third and final? I know you went Ravens there, 2.5 on the road. That's probably a pretty solid there. Low point always feels safer.
Always scares me playing against Belichick on the road, or taking the team against Belichick. I believe they're on the road, if I remember correctly.
Yep, they're on the road.
Scares me, but I'm just going to take Lamar. I think he's electric lately. He's got something to prove. Contract year. Why not keep rolling with it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Melby, what do you got for your third and final? Or I guess no, Mike. Let's go, Mike, because we stole his. Mike, do you have yours?
I'll go and just say I'm with the Ravens too. I've seen a lot. The Patriots, the whole Patriots game, the last two games, they are not a good team. Mac Jones is not that good of a quarterback. Their offensive system isn't that good. Their defense really isn't that good. Ravens coming off that bad loss from the Dolphins. I think they're going to come back. All right, we need to get a win.
Thought. They have to bounce back.
Yeah. I mean, it's a boring show today, but we're all kind of on the same page, though.
Melvin, mine. I was literally going to say the same thing, but I don't know if I could do. That is the.
I'll give it
Did you have Baltimore?
I need W's at this point. I'm going Ravens also 2.5. I need W's. I need fucking W's. I can't be out here trying to stretch spreads. I went with the Bengals 2 weeks in a row. Them against the Jets. I still don't feel strong about that.
No, too many points. 6 is way too many points in NFL.
I know. I was like, maybe the Vikings bounce back at home against the Lions. They have a 6 points is all a lot over there. A lot of points.
I think I'd take the Jets, honestly.
No, I would Bengals. If this would be a game where I would take a teaser with maybe like the Colts, get them both basically at money line -120, and hope for the best. I mean,
Buffalo, because they can't stopped right now, even though they're on the road against the Dolphins, which will be a tough game.
That's a stay away game for me, but I mean Buffalo looks dominant. It's just one of those games where everyone's going to be on Buffalo and they're going to come out flat. Like they did against the Jags last year, that 9-6 game and lost me a ton of money.
Though, and that changes his game, and that changes the dynamic of the Dolphins if you can really get into his head.
And that front seven will get pressure on Tua all day.
Mm-hmm. But it could be a flat spot. I mean, like you said, it's coming off a huge win, like they're dominating. No one's really testing them. Just come out flat and, maybe win by a field goal, but it's 5.5 points, 6 points is a lot to cover against a good Dolphins team.
Road. I mean, it could end up being a field goal game. So
that's big stay away for me. Yeah.
Big stay away as well. My third pick, final one, though, I'm going Rams -3. I'm taking the hook, -122. I just don't think the Cardinals are that great. Kyler heroics where he ran around for like 20 seconds is what it seems like. I mean, they don't win that game. I mean, he had what, like a 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions, or a 2-point conversion and 2 touchdowns, or something crazy in the last few minutes. He was just running around like a madman. It was like a video game back there. I thought I was watching someone play Madden with him running around doing that stuff that he was doing. And I think the Rams are a little better defensively than the Raiders. I think they can kind of contain him. I always take the Cardinals against the Rams and they lose, and now I'm flipping, so it's probably going to be the opposite result. Cardinals probably win this game, but I can't resist that at 3.
No,
I mean, new Call of Duty released this week though.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's a problem. He doesn't typically win when Call of Duties get released, so I'm hoping he's all about that Call of Duty life, that COD life.
Duty gets released, he's got to get on the Xbox or PS5. He's got to play it for at least 18, 20 hours. Doesn't get the studying in that he needs to go against the Rams. Comes out throwing ducks, or guy goes on killing streaks in Call of Duty, comes out, murders Rams, double pistols, game over.
I hope not.
Who knows? I get it. And maybe ask him a little bit, get the gamer tag, talk a little shit to him. Maybe think about getting banned on the Xbox.
If he's streaming this week, I'm being there harassing him.
Oh, you got
it.
If he's
on, actually, maybe I hype him up. Hey, keep playing these games this week. We don't need you watching film.
Right.
Playing COD, stream 24/7. Maybe pull him all nighter, okay?
Mm-hmm. Link up with him. Say, "And you want to play tonight? Good, go all night. Keep him up late.
Play till we lose, and then I just keep dropping like 40 bombs.
Play till you lose, but also I'm on the other team, losing on purpose, so that you guys win every single game, and it never gets off." Any other? Oh, I almost forgot. We have the Monday Night Football game. Monday Night Football, Cowboys, Giants. Talk about a shit show. Over there. Like I said, we talked about back earlier in the week. He's definitely for this Monday Night Football game, though. The backup looked really good. I'm gonna go Giants. I mean, there's no difference in the money line. It's 5 points on your juice. So I'm gonna go Giants money line for that Monday Night Football game this week. What do you boys think?
I'm on the Cowboys. I think that defense is still legit. I can't believe in the Giants. I just can't believe in Daniel Jones. Cooper Rush looks serviceable. I mean, they got 2 good running backs. Their whole line kind of sucks, but that defense. I mean, Parsons is just
he's
man.
I mean,
and you got to think
Lawrence is good too. No one talks about him.
Well, I mean, Parsons is one of the best defenders we've seen in the last decade. I mean, he could wreck that game by himself. On prime time, he's going to want to show out.
And he's the reason the Bengals, I think, lost last week. He had like 2.5 sacks or something. I mean, 2 sacks. He was just killed them. I mean, they couldn't do anything to stop him.
He was in the backfield almost every play.
Until he got hurt that one play and came out for a bit. I mean, that was the only thing that really slowed him down.
Yep.
So with that's where we differ, Melby. That's where we differ. Yep. Monday night, that's going to be the kicker. Dave, what are you going? What are you feeling?
I'm going to take Dallas +1, -110. I mean, you might as well just take it money line, but it's only it's -105 money line currently. So I'll take the point just to be safe. Maybe we get like a 20-21 loss. I somehow get that point. Who knows? You never know. I mean, I could be seeing things into the future.
Might as well take 2, man. I mean, why stop there?
Maybe.
3 touchdowns.
Watch Giants win 21-20. But no, I just think Cooper Rush serviceable. Noah Brown and him look good together. Giants are probably one of the worst teams that are somehow just accumulating wins. I don't get it. Their offense sucks. Their defense sucks. Yet they still win football games.
I mean, I think they're that bad, but are they really that bad? It's just too early to tell for me.
I think I saw something statistically. They're one of the worst teams to have like a 2-0 record or whatever they are right now. I mean, they're like, I think I saw like 26 in offense or like 30th in defense. Like 2 terrible numbers for some.
And they shouldn't have beat the Titans. I mean, they shouldn't have.
No. And then, I mean, the Panthers aren't that good, and that was a dogfight. I mean, it was just a field goal battle. So I'll take my chances. I think, like you said, I think it just comes down to the Dallas defense. If they can get some stops, stop Saquon, I think they end up winning the game.
All right, there's our 4 picks. Running it back one time. Shafe with Kansas City, 5.5. All 3 of us are on that. Ravens on the 2.5. Once again, all three of us are on that again. And then what was your other one?
Me? I had Rams -3.
Man, Rams -3 against the Cardinals on the road on that one. That's where we differ. Melby and I kept it the same at Bears 2.5 as well with them. And then as far as the Monday night game, Cowboys +1, Cowboys money line for Melby, and then the +1s for Shea. And then I'm taking Giants money line. Any other bets you guys got? Anything for tennis over there, Shea? Melby, anything that you've been watching or like that's coming up?
Yeah.
I would say just check Love the Action. I got a couple daily fantasy posting, so I think I got a good feel on daily fantasy this week. I'm pumped about it. So check the Facebook page. We're gonna be posting a couple dailies, and check check out the confidence pool. It's $20 weekly winner. It's fun. You get to check who else people are strong on, and show what you got.
Yep. UFC 280 coming in a month too. We're a month away from probably the biggest part of the year. As we get closer, I will make picks for those 2 title fights going on, and then Peter Young and Sean O'Malley right before that. I mean, that's going to be a mega fight as well. So really, really good card. That's probably what I'm looking forward to most in October is that UFC event. Shea, anything you got for us before we sign out of here?
Now, just hopefully the Mountaineers pull through tonight. No more bad beats, hopefully.
Mountaineers, I'm probably going to ride them too. Bad beats are known to happen anytime you're hanging out with Shea.
Unfortunate, but
unfortunate to all of us. Steelers Browns game tonight. That'd be a good one. Should be low scoring. Have no idea up of that one. It would close my eyes on that game. Should be a good one. But if you guys have nothing else, that's week 3 for us. The one is for next week 4. Like I said, I'm Joe Lim with Michael Schaefer, the president of Love the Action, Tyler Melby. And before we do, I'm not necessarily about to, but next week, what are your guys' thoughts about maybe getting somebody on for a guest pick or two? I've actually had a couple people reach out and be like, yo, I want on. I want on with the bump. I want to make a pick because I've been hot. What are you guys' thoughts on?
Let them on.
For sure.
They got to follow the same format, whether it's 3 college, 3 NFL, or just one or the other, like how you just pick NFL.
I said we just NFL. I said we just maybe, or we'll let them choose. You get NCAA or NFL. The right to choose both is a true bum's right.
Maybe if someone proves their worth one week, they can come back and do both the next week. I mean, but a lot of people don't really watch college football.
We'll get them on later on the year, but one good week, I'm not letting them come back week 5 and 6 and then week 7. All of a sudden, we got 4 bums on here. Now, if someone hits good next week, week 4, they come back. We get them on week 8. They go again 3-0, week 12. One, we'll investigate.
We'll get another voice here, maybe here and there.
We'll do some investigation, see if they're actually legit. But 2, we'll maybe make it a part-time position for them if they can get hot enough. So if you guys have if you guys have anybody else that that wants to hop on here, as well, like I said, I've had a couple people, probably 4 or 5 people who actually watch this, which is awesome. Fan base is growing this year, which we appreciate. Everybody listening to Bums. But yeah, if we got nothing else, until next time, we'll hopefully have on a special guest to join us with the Bums. Make sure to follow that Twitter. Make sure to hop on that Facebook group of Love the Action. We're all on there. A lot of good bettors are on there. There's probably 10 posts a day of bets that you can make, if not more, of what we're playing. So if you're addicts like us, that's the place to go. Look on there as well. But for once again, Mr. Tyler Melby, Michael Schaefer, Joe Lim, we are the Bums. Thanks for listening to Bets for Bums. Peace.